What's up, y'all? It's early. Decided to do my review on Hard Justice tonight, and let me tell y'all, Hard Justice was not good at all. It wasn't as bad as some people are saying, but it was not good at all. Like, Truthland saying it was worse than No Way Out. This shit, that's taking it way too far because nothing is worse than No Way Out. No Way Out is one of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen. Like this year's No Way Out was crap. But anyway, moving on. It's the pay-per-view started with the best match of the night: Triple X versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt. This match was the best match of the night. It had a bunch of spots. I mean, the only thing I didn't like about the match was the very end of the match. The end of the match just was crap. I mean, it was horrible. Like, it just ended with a roll up. Like TNA, they have a bad habit of doing this. Like, they have like some of the greatest matches like going on. Like that match. This match was so great as it was going on, and you didn't know who was going to win, and it ended with a roll up. But anyway, Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt won, which is another thing I don't understand because they brought back Triple X. And if you reunite Triple X, why would you make them lose in like their first pay-per-view match back together? What kind of sense does that make? But anyway, I'm not gonna talk about that. Then you had Raven against Kaz from his former serotonin protege. The match was actually good. Like Raven, he actually did a springboard drop kick, a victory roll, and I was like thinking to myself, is that Raven doing all this? Yeah, it was great. And then Kaz did like this sick like Hurricane Rana from like he sprung off one set of ropes and like jumped to another, and then like hit Marta with a Hurricane Rana, I think. Or was it Havoc? I can't remember. Johnny Devine, okay. And let's see what we had after that. I'm not gonna go in order. This is just the matches I know off the top of my head. They had the Barroom Brawl, James Storm and Rhino. This match was, it was decent. You know what I mean? I didn't like the fact that Rhino started drinking or whatever. I think I kind of get why they did it. Just to show how alcohol affected Rhino, because Rhino started acting different after he started drinking or whatever. I don't know, but I thought he wasn't supposed to drink. That's weird. But anyway, then you had what was it, LAX and VK. I'm not gonna talk about that piece of shit because that match sucked. All right. I mean, Homicide and Hernandez did the best they could to make that match even watchable, but they couldn't save it. VKM was that bad, they couldn't save it. But yeah, what are you gonna do when you're wrestling VKM? You know what I mean? So then after that, it was the Dream Tag Team match or whatever. You had Steiners versus Team 3D. I thought that match was actually good. Like, honestly, like, it started slow, but in the end, it was just nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Because I always thought, that'd be kind of cool to see, the greatest tag team, of the early '90s against, like, in my opinion, the greatest tag team of all time. That'd be cool. Like let me stress, American tag team of all time. Like, to me, it's the Dudleys. A lot of people are gonna disagree with me. I don't give a shit. But the greatest American tag team of all time, my eyes, is the Dudley Boys. And that was kind of cool, because they're both legendary tag teams. So, and then after that, well, wherever, I think is what. I'm not going in order. I'm just trying to remember these matches. Yeah, the Ultimate Humiliation match, Eric Young and Robert Roode. Okay, Robert Roode won, but I wish this feud would just be over because I feel like after Eric Young won his freedom at Slammiversary, it should be done. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to keep dragging this out. There's no need at all. It should be done. It's pointless. Like my brother just said, it's pointless. And then after that, what is it? I hope I don't skip nothing. Oh yeah, let me just talk about Pac-Man Jones and that stupid little thing they did about him and Ron and Truth Killings. He has no mic skills at all. Like he's not even believable. Like he didn't even want to be there. You know what I'm saying? They didn't need to bring him in. Right? I understand it helps out the buy rate or whatever for pay-per-view, but this is retarded, alright? And that shit that was on the pay-per-view could have been on Impact because it just seemed all rushed and cluttered together. It was retarded. But then though, I kind of like how they took him out or whatever because in his contract it says he can't, be in any like physical contact or like with anybody or whatever, and how he can't get hurt, he can't wrestle, whatever. I kind of like how they cut to the backstage and he was bleeding, and then like he was holding his shoulder and he was all beat up or whatever. That was kind of cool because like they kind of worked around the loophole. They made it seem like Pac-Man Jones was involved in something, but you didn't know who did it. That was cool. But even though he really wasn't, they probably just set all that up anyway. But anyway, yeah. Then you had the Doomsday Chamber of Blood. The match was crap. I mean, it sucked. It sucked hard. I mean, not saying it sucked. Oh, let me. Oh, I almost forgot about Black Reign. Dustin Rhodes. Okay, now he's Black Reign. And they basically made Chris Harris one of their brightest young stars who will be a champion very, very soon if they do it right. Job to Dustin Rhodes, to that washed up Dustin Rhodes with his new character, this little Undertaker / Goldust / La Parka or whatever he wants to be. It is just stupid. And then he had like this stupid weapon, and then it was stupid. I mean, the music was even stupid. They just need to get rid of him. They didn't need to bring him in anyway. That's how I see it. They need to just get rid of him. Okay, moving on to finally the Doomsday Chamber of Blood. Like I said, it was crap. It was so disappointing. The only one spot that's really worth talking about is when AJ got Black Hole slammed on the glass. That was cool. And then the other spot, well, matter of fact, there was no other spot. And only 3 people bled: AJ, Tomko, and Abyss. And then they didn't use the barbed wire at all, and it just sucked. It sucked so bad. And the thing I thought they should have did with that match, Sting got locked outside the cage, right? It would have made it so dramatic if Sting didn't have any wire cutters and he had to make a choice. Like Abyss and Test were getting like destroyed in the ring, and he had to make a choice whether he climbs over the top of the cage and gets cut up, or he stays on the outside and just watch. And if he would have climbed the top of the cage and would have got cut up and everything, that would have added so much drama to that match, and that would have made that match so good, I think. Even if they just would have added that one part, you will never forget that moment, I promise you. Because I was wondering, like, when they locked him out the cage, I was like, what is Sting gonna do? Because that's when I was actually trying to get into the match. And they locked him out of the cage. I was like, oh my God, what's Sting gonna do? Then he just pulls out some wire cutters and then climbs in the cage. Okay. But yeah, Abyss gets the next title shot at No Surrender against the winner of Joe versus Angle. Okay. Joe versus Angle at Hard Justice was the absolute worst Joe versus Angle match they ever had. Okay. And then his wife, Kurt Angle's wife, as we all knew, was going to be a factor, and she screwed Joe, as pretty much anybody could have, saw coming. And it basically squashed Joe on pay-per-view. I mean, let's just be honest, because everybody knew he wasn't going to win. I mean, like Truth Slayer said, it's time to free Joe. Time for him to go back to ROH, because if they're not going to use him right, if they're not going to give him the title or whatever, this is retarded to even have him. And I know I'm going to get a lot of negative comments or whatever saying, well, they're building up the anticipation for Joe to win the title. Well, they need to stop banking on that, you know what I'm saying? I'm through. All I got to say is that I want to see how these TNA fans react to this miserable pay-per-view. Because this pay-per-view was miserable. It was so disappointing, it gave me a headache. I mean, it was just, it was miserable. And it was just, I mean, it's not as bad as No Way Out or some December to Dismember or some terrible pay-per-views of the past. But it was pretty bad, man. And I just want to see how Bill and Doug, PS Power, I hate to call niggas out, but those the main TNA marks on YouTube, and I want to see how they just react to something like this, because there's no defending this pay-per-view. It's not. It was just, it's a thumb up and a thumb down. It had some good things, it had some bad things. It had a lot of bad things, matter of fact. Had some good things, a lot of bad things. But anyway, it is what it is.